Hey everyone, and welcome back to Comic Issues Daily. Today's lineup is stacked. Marvel just confirmed that Secret Wars will literally reset the MCU. Big Ten is returning under its original creators, and CovrPrice's latest report shows that Silver Age keys are still commanding jaw-dropping prices. We've got some comic news, movie updates, nostalgia bombs, and collector insights all rolled into one. So buckle up, grab that morning coffee or that long box wish list, and let's get right into it. But before we dive in, today's episode is brought to you by Ron's Comic Closet, your online source for new releases, key issues, and exclusive variants. And if you use code IHAVEISSUES at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase with Ron. So go check him out. Big thanks to Ron, and keeps the show fueled and the long boxes full. All right, today's first story. It's official. Avengers Secret War is set for December 17th of 2027, and it's being called the film that will reset the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kevin Feige himself said this one collapses the multiverse back into a single timeline after years of branched realities, from Loki's TVA chaos to Doctor Strange's shattered portals. It sounds like Marvel is finally cleaning house. The Russo brothers are back to direct, which gives fans a lot of confidence. These are the same guys who delivered Infinity War and Endgame, and also Winter Soldier from Captain America, and they know how to juggle a massive ensemble cast. The lineup this time is wild. Robert Downey Jr. is returning as Dr. Doom. I guess he originally was playing that one in Doomsday. And the new Fantastic Four is going to be joining up with Florence Pugh's Yelena, the new Black Widow, and the Thunderbolt. It's like Marvel is taking every thread it's ever spun and weaved one giant final tapestry. We can hope. If it really does serve as a reset, we could see the entire arcs rewritten, heroes reborn, and even a clean slate for Phase 7. Either way, anticipation is sky high. What do you think? Does the MCU need a hard reset? Or should Marvel just branch into the madness? Drop your thoughts below. And speaking of reboots done right, one of the most beloved animated heroes of the 2000s is finally getting the comic treatment he deserves. If you grew up watching Cartoon Network, this one is pure nostalgia. Ben 10 is coming back to comics next February, written by the original Man of Action creators, Joe Casey, Joe Kelly, Duncan Rulio, and Steven T. Seagal. And for the first time ever, they're handling the story themselves. Joe Casey scripting the first arc with Robert Curry on art and promises a bigger, bolder version of Ben that leans straight into superhero storytelling. This isn't a continuation. It's a total reimagination. We'll see Ben's first encounter with the Omnitrix modernized for today's readers, while classic characters like Gwen and Grandpa Max are reintroduced with new layers. Casey describes it as what Ben 10 could have been if it started as a comic instead of a cartoon. More surreal, more heartfelt, and definitely more action-packed. Fans of the original show will get nods and Easter eggs, but new readers can jump right in. It's the best of both worlds, bringing nostalgia and fresh storytelling. If you've ever wanted to see Ben 10 compete on the same shelf as Spider-Man or Superman, this is the book to watch. And from one green-themed hero to another, Marvel's Hulk is about to punch his way through time itself. Writer Ryan North and artist Vincent Caruto are turning Hulk loose across time in a 5-issue miniseries called Hulk Smash Everything. It launches this December, and the premise is beautifully chaotic. Throw Hulk into situations even he can't just smash his way out of. 1 minute, he's battling cosmic gods. The next, he's facing dinosaurs and prehistoric Earth. Cartoon's preview art looks incredible. Kinetic, brutal, and full of weight. The kind of pages that practically reverberate with motion. North said they wanted to test the limits of Hulk's anger by forcing him into places and eras where brute force might not be enough. Of course, this is Hulk, so not enough still means catastrophic collateral damage. Add in variant covers from Adam Kubert, Adi Garnov, Paulo Sequeira, and Luciano Vichicho, and collectors already have this circled on their pull list. It's classic Marvel energy with modern polish, a love letter to decades of smashing. But if you think Hulk hits hard, wait until you see what Wolverine's next anthology is slicing into. Wolverine's grittiest series returns on January 14th of 2026 with Logan, Black, White, and Blood, a spiritual sequel to the hit 2020 run. This anthology goes all in on 3-color brutality, black, white, and the deepest red Marvel can print. It brings back legendary Wolverine writers Larry Hama alongside Saladin Amin and Tom Waltz, and with art by Adam Kubert, Alex Lenz, and Dave Watcher. Issue 1 alone gives us 3 standalone tales: a secret 1950s military mission, a 1970s serial killer hunt in Times Square, and a desperate survival story right after Logan's Weapon X escape. Each one dives into different eras of Wolverine's life without the baggage of continuity. It's just raw storytelling dripping with atmosphere and style. These anthologies let creators unleash Logan's feral side in a way ongoing books can't. If you missed the first series, hunt it down. It shot up in value fast, and this one's bound to do the same. And speaking of blood, celebrity, and spectacle, Post Malone is taking both to New York Comic Con this week. Vault Comics and Post Malone are teaming up for one of the most unexpected collaborations in comics. At New York Comic Con, Post will headline a full panel to promote his dark fantasy series Big Rig, co-written with Adrian Wazel and illustrated by Nathan Gooden. The story follows an ex-priest turned trucker who drives a demon-slaying big rig across medieval Europe. That sounds interesting. It sounds absurd in the best possible way. A mashup of heavy metal fantasy, grindhouse horror, and road movie redemption. Vault's bringing exclusive variant covers by Peach Momoko and Pete Carroll, and they're already talking of a film deal with Platinum Dunes. Say what you will about celebrity comics, but Post Malone seems serious about this project. The combination of the star power, NYCC buzz, and strong creative partners make this panel one of the con's hottest tickets. All right. And then from modern music icons to vintage glam, glam rockers, Gem and the Holograms are turning up the comeback. Tuning up for a comeback. Boom Studio just landed the rights to Hasbro's Gem and the Holograms with brand new comics slated for 2026. To kick it off, Boom Direct Reserve Kickstarter launches this November, reprinting classic Gem stories and funding fresh adventures for Jen, Kimber, Stormer, and the rest of the band. This timing couldn't be better. 2025 marks Gem's 40th anniversary, and the loyal subjects are dropping new collector dolls alongside the comic revival. Michael Kelly, who helped reboot Gem back in 2015, is back on board, promising stories that balance nostalgia with modern pop culture flair. Gem has always been in music, fashion, and adventure, and Boom's creative approach could introduce the franchise to a whole new generation. Expect bold colors, character drama, and a healthy dose of glitter and danger. While Gem's crew reunites in harmony, another group is rallying for something more feral. Fair treatment at work. Kickstarter United, the union that represents around 60 tech workers, just voted to authorize a strike after negotiations hit a wall. Their demands: a permanent 32-hour 4-day work week and an $85,000 salary floor. Wages, they say, that are necessary to live in New York City. At an October 7th rally outside venture capitalist Fred Wilson's office, union members called out management for refusing to budge and reminding everyone that labor fights are part of tech's history too. Signs reading "Tech workers will never be defeated" echo chants from labor movement past. It's a powerful statement from the people who keep one of comics' biggest crowdfunding platforms running. For creators who depend on Kickstarter, this victory could set an important precedent. From real-world battles to interstellar ones, the Predator franchise is going full barbarian next. Director Dan Trachtenberg is taking the Predator franchise somewhere unexpected. His upcoming film, Predator Badlands, draws more inspiration from Conan the Barbarian than from sci-fi. Trachtenberg wanted something grounded, savage, and mythic, a survival epic rather than another gadget-filled hunt. The story pairs a diminutive Yautja warrior named Deke with a legless Wayland Yutani android called Thea on a mission to slay a monstrous creature known as the Callets. Because they can't communicate, much of the storytelling is visual, turning the silence into tension and beauty. It's a bold, almost poetic concept that reframes Predator as a fantastic folklore instead of space horror. The movie drops November 7th, and early buzz says it could revitalize the series for a new generation. I think there's also a prequel comic book coming out that same week from Marvel, I believe. I think I reported about it just the other day. And speaking of ambitious science fiction, Denis Valenza just made a move that got Dune fans talking again. Rebecca Ferguson confirmed she'll reprise her role as Lady Jessica in Dune 3. Even though the character barely appears in Frank Herbert's Dune Messiah, director Denis Valenza clearly has a specific vision. Rumor has it he's blending material from Children of Dune to round out his trilogy. And Ferguson said her part is small but emotionally crucial, and that tracks with Valencia's cinematic approach. He's less interested in strict adaptation than in crafting a cohesive arc across all three films. With child actors cast as Leto II and Gahami, it's clear he's thinking ahead. For purists, the shift might raise eyebrows, but Valencia has earned massive goodwill, and I apologize for butchering those names. If this installment delivers, we're looking at one of the greatest sci-fi trilogies ever made. And speaking of legendary sagas, today's CovrPrice shakers are proof that Marvel's original era still rules the market. Hey, Brian, good morning. How are you doing today? The latest CovrPrice Daily Shakers Report is a showcase of Silver Age supremacy. Amazing Fantasy 15 from 1962, Spider-Man's debut, just sold for $14,750 in a CGC 1.8 grade. An Incredible Hulk number 1 from 1962 in a CGC 4.0 fetched $14,655. An Amazing Spider-Man number 1 from 1962 in a CGC 6.5 also hit $14,400. I believe since I've been doing these shaker reports on here, these are the biggest top three that I've seen start off the shakers report. These are entry-level grades moving for 5 figures, proof that demand for early Marvel Age keys hasn't slowed a bit. The rest of the top 10 reads like a Hall of Fame. Tales of Suspense 39, Iron Man's first appearance, sold for $12,000 in a CGC 5.5, and X-Men number 1 from 1963 sold for $9,900 in a 5.5. Avengers number 1 from 1963 sold for $8,700 in a CGC 7.5, and Daredevil number 1 from 1964 sold for $7,625 in a CGC 8.0. Also, then we got Journey into Mystery number 83, the debut of Thor, sold for $7,600 in a CGC 4.0, and then we got Conan the Barbarian number 1 from 1970. Sold for $7,599 in a CGC 9.8. And then we have Incredible Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine from 1974, sold for $5,800 in a CGC 9.0. Every single book is a cornerstone of comic history. What's amazing is the consistency. These aren't fluke sales. They're reflecting a market that treats classic Marvel like blue chip investments. If you've been hunting grails, this list is your roadmap. Which of these keys top your wish list? Let me know in the comments. just want to remind everybody, this is October, which is Comics Curing Cancer Month, C3. And if you want to go check out an interview I did with on Comics Channel Origins this past Sunday, I interviewed Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics, DJ Links, and Legion of Comics, all on the channel. So please check that one out. It's this past Sunday. But this is C3 month, and they are having their auctions at the end of the month. So please check that out, October 24th through the 26th. And I do have a little their schedule right here. So let me show that for you. All right, and also then this Sunday on Comics Channel Origins, I will be interviewing Mr. Aiken from What's on the Comics Rack. They'll be this Sunday coming up at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking to him about all things about his YouTube channel that he has and how he started Zero and has moved up to where he is now and what he does and all of his videos and stuff like that. So please check out Comic Channel Origins this Sunday. And if you want to be a guest on future episodes of Comic Channel Origins, please reach out. Let me know. IG is probably the best way to do that. And so that's going to be a wrap on today's episode. If you enjoyed hanging out, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share the stream with your comic-loving friends. Subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss an update. And a huge thanks to Ron's Comic Closet for sponsoring the show. And a big thanks to all of you spending your day with me. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for another round of stories, speculation, and collector talk. Because at the end of the day, I have comic issues, and I bet you do too. All right, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.